Ibrahimovic and Rafael Leao, that's brilliant. He's got Junior Messias in support, but he won't need him. Rafael Leao makes a goal-scoring return.
The Calcio Guys is a weekly podcast by Adriano Donardo, Gianni Delacoli, and myself, Nicholas Di Giovanni. We want to bring Calcio back to its roots in our communities and share stories from around the world about why we're passionate about the beautiful game. You can listen to us anywhere where you listen to your podcasts, including Spreaker, Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, iHeart Radio, and Mixcloud. Give us your opinion on social media at The Calcio Guys on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The intro song is Fireworks by Jazar. New year, same Serie A. Shenanigans, rumors, news, more shenanigans, COVID. That's the Serie A for you. This is the Calcio Guys. We're the same Calcio Guys, so that's what counts. Adriano Donardo, Gianni Delacoli, I'm Nicholas Di Giovanni. How you guys doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good. It's happy to be back. Yeah, happy to be back. 2022. New. I don't want to be the typical New Year, New Me bullshit, but yeah, Calcio Guys are back. 2022. I hope everybody had a good holiday. New Year as well. Everybody was safe and ate a lot of food because we know we did. So just happy to be back, and it wouldn't be the Serie A coming back if there wasn't a drama and a lot of action. So we're ready to talk.
I mean, it's always great to start off a brand new year with a fresh start. Bit of an up and down for myself, but you know what? Can't complain. I'm excited to be back and get started with talking Calcio. It started early this morning with the All Juve cast. By the way, shout out to them, awesome guys. I had fun today on their pod, but start off the morning with Calcio. Might as well end the night with Calcio as well. So let's go.
There you go.
None of us are on the COVID list, so that's good too. We're all here. We're all healthy, and that wasn't the case for the Serie A. This week, Serie A Matchday 20 was supposed to come back after a long break. It felt long because the last time they played was December 22nd, 23rd, so right before Christmas, and you had this nice long break. Prem's going on in the meantime. You have this nice long break. And then they come back January 6th, week after the holidays. COVID's still around. We're still in this pandemic. A bunch of players come back, test positive from vacations, from family gatherings, whatever. And 2 years into this pandemic, and the Serie A still doesn't know how to handle it. Guys, I don't want to go too in-depth about this because we're all going to have different opinions. Everyone's going to have different opinion. But at the end, we had 4 games postponed. Bologna, Inter, Atalanta, Torino, Venezia, Salernitana, and Fiorentina, Udinese. That's 4 games. They got postponed. Officially not. Well, I really don't understand.
Cancel. Yeah, they say cancel, but they're going to be postponed later. It's all a mess. You guys know how it is.
If you check Google, it says suspended, but I don't know on the Serie A website if it says 3-0 for the team who technically showed up. Inter, so weird. Inter shows up to Bologna, plays a friendly game, in intra-squad game, but Bologna doesn't even show up to their own stadium. Makes no sense. No consistency because you had some teams with 2 or 3 cases not playing, and then other teams with 5-6 cases playing in the like Milan. We had another Napoli debacle. Are they going to come to Torino? Are they not going to come to Torino? I've seen the letters ASL way too much on Twitter these past few days. It's just a mess. It's just how many times is this going to happen before the league learns?
It's never going to learn.
You need to set rules. You need to set contingency plans. COVID's not going away anytime soon, guys. And this is the 3rd season that the league is playing in which COVID is a part of. So they need to learn how to deal with it. It's frustrating for fans. It's embarrassing for the league. it's such a bad look for like those fringe fans, you know. If you're watching this as a fringe fan, you're gonna be like, what the heck, you know? I'm gonna go watch the Prem. Like they're when there's problems, they'll just postpone the game. That's it. That's all. And then it's just it's frustrating. There were a lot of people arguing on Twitter about it. What's the point of arguing? Honestly, it's
it's out of our control.
Exactly, it's stupidity. I don't know. What do you guys think about this?
It's a zoo. It's ridiculous. I have to agree with your sentiment about the fact that it's like it's been 2 years. Like there should be a precedence, and there were precedents before, you know, especially in that last year with Napoli, Juve. Like preemptively, there were both the ASL and Napoli's organization were like, okay, well, look, we just played against a team. We just played against a team that had like half their roster tested positive. So, and we're starting to. And, you know, at the time it was still new. The vaccine wasn't out yet. You know, people were still very unsure. So that made sense at the time. But now it's like, okay, look, we're well versed or somewhat versed into what this disease is. And, you know, we have protection against it. In a way, it's not like I'm not going to get into a whole debate of vaccinated versus unvaccinated about if it's effective or not. But what I'm trying to say is that there's more knowledge now than there was years before. And you should have some form of contingency plans to put in place when stuff like this happens. And then all of a sudden today, on the same day, the league puts out the ruling that, okay, official ruling, it was on Sky Sport, official ruling, you must have 13 players at once to field. If you're unable to field 13 players with both your main roster and the Primavera, fine, you get the exception. But if you don't have that, but if you actually do have those players available and combined from the Primavera and your actual main roster, then you have to play. And I'm like, okay, good, but like this is too little, too late. Like it's the day of that all this is going down, and that's where my frustration came from because I'm like, look, this is the day of. Now you put this rule into effect. Like you guys should have done this at the start of the season, and it does make our league look ridiculous. Because the fans are frustrated because it's one day yes, one day no. One team gets an exception, another team doesn't get an exception. There's no consistency, and it just relates back to just different things, not just about COVID restrictions, but like you know we debated many times throughout the years about like the penalty rulings in Serie A. You know, like why is one case a penalty? Why is the other one not a penalty? And we've always said it like there's always been a lack of consistency, and that's what this league is right now in terms of organization. The organization of Serie A is lacking consistency.
Yeah, and what kills me even more is that it's literally a rinse repeat, right, guys? From last season, we said it. Posted on Twitter. You see all over social media. It's literally a carbon copy of what happened. 12 months ago. So it's crazy to say that now, they're going to cancel. One team's going to be awarded the 3-0, and then they're going to go appeal, and then they're going to postpone the game, and they're going to play it again. Like Johnny said, like Nick mentioned, you know, if we didn't have now looking back, playing like Monday morning quarterback, looking back at the Juve Napoli part 1 of the saga last season where they didn't show up and all that nonsense. Now looking back, it's okay. You know, we were. It was very unsure. Like we didn't know. What should have happened. What was the best outcome? But now that's already happened. So the leagues, the health authorities in these regions of Italy, the ASL, whatever you want to name it, should understand that we've dealt with this before. This is how we proceeded. So why can't we just do the same? But no, leave it to the Italians to make things complicated and not have proper organization. And it shows, and it hurts the league, like you guys said. And it's the fans that suffer, it's the league that suffer. And how do you expect this league and this product, basically, Serie A as a product, to advance when we're so, we're in the Stone Ages, we're like miles away from where we're supposed to be. So, like Nick mentioned, COVID's not going away. It seems to be back, obviously, stronger than ever, I guess. And it's just a bad look. And now the question I have is now, when are they going to play these damn games? They're already playing games out of their, like so many games that we mentioned time and time again. Now I got to see when they're going to postpone and play these games again. But again, it's a bad look. Things should have been ironed out, obviously earlier. Unfortunately, again, leave it to the Italians for last minute solutions. like Johnny said, the day of, you're going to implement the rule when, Bologna already wasn't gonna show up. You knew they weren't going to show up. They couldn't travel. They couldn't leave. So what do you want to do? It's just a mess. Again, I think we can rant about this for another 2 episodes, but I think we'll cut it short there. But yeah, bad luck on the Serie A with all this.
One last thing I just want to say, just for me, it doesn't make sense how there's no I'm sure there's communication between the health authorities, the ASL, and the league, but it really seems like they're not communicating at all. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's honestly embarrassing. Like,
well, the picture I posted, the emergency meeting. What were they doing?
Playing cards.
Playing Brishkula. I don't understand. Playing cards. Like, what were they doing? Like, emergency meeting. They implement the rule day of when you know everything's shit already hit the fan. Like, it makes no sense. And what kills me even more now that we're bringing it back up is that there's certain games where they have the same amount of cases. One game is not being played and the other one is being played. One has less, it's not being played. The one has more, is being played. How the hell does that make sense, guys? It really baffles me. I thought we were smarter than that, but I guess we just have to all be on the same page.
And I did just read the document with the ruling from today about the 13 players. So yeah, Johnny, you're right. It is the 13 players, which that's crazy. Like, why can't they just make it like 15 or 16 where you have enough to make a couple of subs? Like 13. Like, imagine like Inter is going up against it like a Venezia or something, and they have Venezia has 13 players. Like, that's gonna be a joke of a game. Like, Inter's gonna walk over Venezia. Like 13 players, Jesus, including Primavera players. Come on,
including Primavera. Yeah, I was going to say
you could have guys who've never played pro before in a game. Which whatever. Hopefully, never comes to that.
Napoli had some of those today, for example. But
yeah. Hopefully, it never comes to that because
they had their Primavera.
13 players in your organization means a lot of guys are
out.
And what we saw today, the max was Salernitana with 9 players who were positive. So, all these games in reality in that ruling should have been played, but, they'll have to be played at another day. On to real soccer now.
Mm-hmm.
So there were supposed to be 10 games today, and at the end, only 6 were played, and only 3 teams won. So 3 draws, 3 wins. One of those wins was Milan over Roma. Milan had all these guys out, African Cup of Nations, injuries, COVID. They were really put together, stitched together for today's game, and they come out and win. I mean, I know Adriano, I'm pretty sure you were able to watch the game. Johnny, you weren't, but you saw the highlights. Yeah. But give me your guys' thoughts on that.
Jai, you want to go ahead, or you want me to?
Congrats to your team on winning the Pizza Calcio Derby. Shout out to our boys.
Shout out.
But I mean,
actually,
like Nick said,
one of them was at the game. Was it Ryan? Was it Ryan? He was at the game. Him and his girl, they were at San Siro for the game. I saw it. So half of Pizza Calcio was at San Siro for that game. So it really is the Pizza Calcio Derby.
So, so like Nick said, I unfortunately had to work today and I missed out on the game. So I had to watch highlights. But from what people were messaging in group chats and from what I had messaged to me and saw on Twitter, and from the highlights that I saw, essentially this was, Milan working hard for their effort for the W, for given what they had, and Roma really shooting themselves in the foot in a game that, in a non-disrespectful way to Milan, was a game that they had a really good chance of winning. Looking at the lineup on paper, this was a game that Roma had a good chance of winning, and they should have won. But props to Milan for finding the ways to win, and you know what, and Roma's got nobody else to blame but their own play on the field. From what I saw, Magnan did amazing saves, especially some key deflection saves. He didn't get much peppered on him directly, but just the fact that he made those important saves when he needed to were big differences. Karsdorp being idiotic player, Mancini with the grab on Leao, those are clear. The penalty call for Milan, the first one, that was a clear pen for Abraham. He leaned into the ball. That's the moment your arm's extending, you lean into the ball. Your intention is to deflect it. That's a good pen. The Mancini on Leao thing, there is a grab on the shirt, so that doesn't help his case at all. Karsdorp, there's no touching of the ball at all. I mean, like, it's that there's nobody to blame but themselves for this game. And it's frustrating, because you come back from a break, your team's somewhat healthy, you're ready to go. You should be in the driver's seat in this game, and you let it slip by you. And I really hope this is a learning experience for the squad, because this is a game that, either you grow from it and you learn not to repeat these mistakes again, or you let it get to you and it could affect your upcoming games in terms of your frustrations or how you handle any challenges in those games. That's what I feel like what I got from this game for Roma Milan.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, it was a big match.
Sorry, AJ, I accidentally played the clip with you.
No, go. It's fine.
You could go ahead. Go.
Sorry about that. After. Technical difficulties. 2022. We're still drinking. We're still hungry. We're still eating. So sorry about that, guys. But yeah, no. Listen, it was a big game. Obviously, like on paper, coming out of the holiday break to face a team like Roma, it was never going to be easy. I know people want to shit on Roma, whatever. That's fine, but still, it's a big game. It's a big game on the calendar, no matter what. And I'm just happy, just how Milan came out to play. Now people are going to say, oh yeah, but you weren't as depleted as it made to be. Guys, I don't know, but the defense pairing was the evident one. We had Kalulu and Gabbia, who Gabbia doesn't get many minutes, and Kalulu's a natural right back, and he's playing center back. Florenzi, yeah, okay, he's had some good performances. He's our second string right back. Theo Hernandez is back. Okay, he's in the back line. Krunic coming in, Bakayoko coming in without having Kessie and Benacer. That's fine. That was expected. And again, going forward with the AFCON, the players that are missing from AFCON, it can't be an excuse, because this is expected. This is what it is. Let them go play for their country, represent their country. That's fine. So having, no Kessie, no Benacer is going to hurt. But I think we have to take it as what it is. Like I said, the pressure for Milan, just the way they performed, I think was huge. For me, a terrible mistake on Abraham, on Tammy's part there. I don't know, lack of focus in the box, having that wrong instinct, sticking out his arm. Johnny mentioned it. I think that was a clear pen. Good on Giroud for putting it away. He hasn't been on the score sheet too much, or as of late, sorry. And it's good to see him scoring. Milan, everybody knows that Milan's number 9 always seems to have an issue scoring ever since Inzaghi. So to see him get on the score sheet, even though it's a pen, it was good to see. He could have had 2, but he wasn't lucky enough. It hit off the post. Messias cleans up the garbage and scores. And just to see Milan up 2-0 after seeing the initial lineup, it was a sigh of relief, but at the same time, it's a tricky score, because like they say, 2-0 is the worst lead in sports. You need to push for 3, and even though Roma, I don't think had the greatest of games, especially seeing how they came out to play before the break against Atalanta 4-1. I thought they would have a bit more juice, coming after the break. They had a pretty healthy lineup, so I was a bit concerned, but it was just one of those games where I don't think Roma was really into it, and it didn't work out in their favor. And the goal that they scored, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from what Roma did or shit on Roma, but again, it was a deflection, and Manuel couldn't react. But Manuel, like Johnny said, had a hell of a game. Iron Mike between the sticks, he's been fantastic, making those timely saves when we need it. And again, people want to say, oh, Donnarumma who? But again, Donnarumma made those saves. Now we turn on to Manuel. He's making those saves, so it's huge. Just, again, going into the second half, Leao, I mean, what can you say? I think he's slowly but surely turning the page from a dark time that he had to begin his time at Milan. So it's positive. He's a young player. I think he needs to step up, and he has so far. To see him get back to the squad after he was out for a while, it's nice. And yeah, Ibra making a play to put him on there was a fantastic play. So I knew Ibra when he stepped up to the spot. I almost was certain this guy was going to miss. And what happened? He missed. He can't take penalties. It seems like he's missed 5 out of his last 7. I heard so. Yeah, I don't know. But again, it was an overall team win. I think Pioli got it right today. The subs were all right as well. I didn't like Bakayoko from the first minute that he came on. Kind of slowly got into it as the game progressed. Conti, another one that we haven't seen touch the field in a long time. So again, these guys are going to have to get in there. It's going to have to be a big rotation. And I think, Milan really showed character in this game. And, again, people want to say, oh, yeah, like they weren't depleted. Like we've seen worse, obviously, but they were missing some key players, obviously, especially last minute due to COVID. So I think they handled themselves well. They got to 3 points. They move. Right now, they sit still in second, a point behind Inter. We'll see what happens with that makeup game for them. And again, it's only positive steps from here.
One thing I do want to say that really pissed me off about this game is the fact that I forgot to dress Pellegrini and Leao. I completely forgot to set up my lineup, and Leao scores, Pellegrini gets an assist, and I'm going up against Dom DeFazio this week, so I need to beat him. Because he beat me hard last time we faced each other, and I have a good chance of winning this time. So, Dom, I'm coming after you. You're lucky.
Yeah, because Leao's goal and everything. But does that count with the yellow cards count for minus points, or how's that work?
Yeah, it counts for minus points. So like I fielded Zaniolo and he messed me up. So like it was my lineup from pre-vacation. Anyways, I'm not gonna get too much into it. It's on me. I'm mad at myself. But that's my frustration about this game. It's not the result.
Speaking about Zaniolo quickly, I know there was a lot of heat about was it a penalty on the other side? Like I don't know. You look back at that play, him and Tonali going shoulder to shoulder. There wasn't. People want to say there was contact. He was pulling their shirt. If you see the play, he grabs his shirt and lets go right away. They fall. Personally, I think it's an innocent play. The one on Leao, I don't know. Mancini's a little bit more behind him and he takes him out. But again, I think the Leao one, even though it could have been considered soft, I would agree. But the one on Zaniolo with Tonali there, the little mix up there, I don't think it was. Now I know people are going to disagree probably, but again, that's how I see it. But and then just shout out to Tonali. Sorry, I didn't mention that before, but huge player. He's just been constantly growing, constantly playing with no fear, and he's really making a name for himself, taking a pay cut to stay with Milan. It shows he has the love for Milan. Will that transpire further along down the line? We'll see, but. For now, Sandro's playing really well, and shout out to him as well.
Ibrahimovic and Rafael Leao, that's brilliant. He's got Junior Messias in support, but he won't need him. Rafael Leao makes a goal-scoring return.
Guys, it's crazy time for the Calcio Guys because Matchday 19, or rather Matchday 18, we had Napoli. Milan Napoli rather, and then matchday 20 we had Milan Roma. So again, Adriano and Gianni against each other. But then today we had Juve Napoli, and then next weekend we have Juve Roma, and then in 2 weeks from now we have Juve Milan. So like Serie A, maybe they did this on purpose or something. They just threw all of our possible combinations into like a 1 month span. But we'll
Serie A listens to Calcio Guys confirmed.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you to the schedule
go.
makers in the league. The only thing you guys are able to do right. But yeah, today Juve Napoli. Impossible that we have a normal Juve Napoli these past couple years. It's
never
embarrassing.
Nope.
I feel like because like personally, I doubt the game was ever in doubt. Like I feel like all this drama on Twitter was just to create drama. Because Napoli, okay, sure, they did have a couple of like positive cases here and there, but I feel like it was just to do it like almost like a repeat of last year. Almost, it was just for the drama, especially the whole situation of the Turin ASL saying the players have to wear masks. I'm like, that's so bullshit. That's just
or that three
Yeah.
players can't play. They have to go
Yeah.
in quarantine again. Zelensky and whatever. Hey, come on.
like I'm like, yeah, that's so not true. But yeah,
This-
the game goes on. Game goes on. I feel like the 1-1 was a fair result. I feel like Napoli fans are happy with the 1-1, but Juve fans aren't because, I feel like under Allegri this season, Juve hasn't been able to get it done in these big matches. The only one I could really remember is the win against Roma, because I think against Milan it was also a 1-1. Inter was a 1-1. Napoli 1-1 at home. It was a 2-1 loss away. So I feel like last year Juve got these games done, and I hate to do this, but I'm going to bring it back to Pirlo. A lot of people are talking about last year, fire Pirlo, fire Pirlo, fire Pirlo.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people were saying bring back Allegri, and here we are a year later, possibly worse than what we are a year ago. Obviously losing Ronaldo has a big thing to do with that. But, last year they were able to get the wins. Like last year I saw, a year ago today, Juve had a couple of guys out with COVID, and they go to Milan, and they win 3-1. Chiesa 2 goals, they win 3-1, and perfect game. The game against Napoli that was replayed in April, 2-1 win at home.
the Bala brace when he coming back from injury and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so, like, I don't know, maybe it's a mentality thing. I wouldn't say
I think it
bringing
is.
back Allegri was a
I think it
mistake.
is. I think it is. Did you see his comments after the game? Come on.
I guess that's glass half full.
Adrian. It makes total sense. A mid-table club will be happy to get a draw against a top 4 team. Come on, it makes sense. Right?
We're in
Sorry.
fifth. We're
What am I
points away.
saying? I'm sorry.
3 points away from Champions League spot. But no, I think I wouldn't say bringing back Allegri was a mistake. Because look, we're change the coach so much, you can't change it again. He's here to stay. You have to deal with it, like COVID. He's here to stay. I'm not comparing Allegri to COVID, but just goes to show you.
Almost.
You can't be constantly trying to change things. Like there's some things they're just here to stay, and Allegri's one of them. But it was just like Juve. Maybe it is a mentality thing, because you're right, Adri. Once Mertens scored, they looked out of it, and they started well. And
the formation changed. He asked Chiesa to stay back. Come on, Chiesa is your best attacking player.
Yeah.
Go forward, get another goal. Like, come on, the mentality is not there. Sorry.
Locatelli, McKennie had a good game, but Locatelli, the only good playmaking midfielder, he's playing way too back in the midfield. Some people are even saying, like, I don't pay too much attention to the tactics and all that, but some people on Twitter are saying he was almost playing like a center back. He was pretty much dropping in between the defenders. And so it was bad. And then Chiesa, obviously he couldn't play 90 minutes coming back from injury. Dybala, him too, coming back from injury. Didn't really look himself. I think Juve should have taken advantage of their chances. That a couple of misses from McKennie and Ken, missed wide with headers. It felt like they were shooting from outside the box all game. I don't know if that was part of the strategy. Maybe they saw Spina gives up goals from outside the box. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. Maybe they're like okay, Napoli, they were light on a few guys, but they still fielded a decent team. They still I
agree.
If they were missing those.
It was like Napoli's 6.57 squad out of 10. Let's say it was 6.57.
If they were missing those 3 guys, it would have been probably a different story, But then again, you could talk about Juve was missing their 2 starting center backs, and now they're starting left back in Luca Pellegrini, who's miles ahead of Alexandro, who had a stinker of a game. Pretty much his fault for the goal scored.
The Mertens.
Obviously Juve had to take advantage of their chances. They didn't. They had to win. It is disappointing. Obviously it's better than a loss, but considering the state Napoli was in, they needed the 2 points. Now turn around. You got Roma on Sunday. Personally, I think that's a game Juve has to win, especially now Roma's without Mancini and Karsdorp. And now we're going to have a healthier Chiesa, hopefully Dybala from the start. Artur, he recovered from COVID. Maybe he could help out in the midfield. So we'll see. Morata needs to be better too. That's another player. We'll see. We'll talk about transfers soon. But yeah, Morata needs to be better. Johnny, you saw the highlights. What'd you think of it?
Like I wrote on Twitter, I'm damn proud of the result because going in, like what half the proper roster, just to get a result against Juve, is fantastic. It's a win in my book because don't get me wrong, Juventus were missing a lot of players compared to Napoli as well. Both had their fair share of players not playing, but it's scary knowing that without Koulibaly, our backline is horrible. And now, like, before the match started, you're not hearing Ramani either. It's like, okay, so we're pretty much screwed because now that's even, like, Mauro Rui's out. So 3 out of the 4 starters at the time weren't supposed to play. And they're getting back Dybala and Chiesa. It's like Morata. I get Morata can be a sneak every once in a while and get those goals that are just backbreakers. But the guys that you fear the most, especially when you hear that the back line is not the strongest back line, are guys like Chiesa and Dybala that can tear it up with their speed, with their agility, their reflexes, the way they just know how to handle the ball, like fantastic players. So just knowing that this came out of it, I'm perfect with it and I'm going to take it and go. To say that it was a fair result, I feel like as if it was somewhat fair. I feel like as if Juventus got the more dangerous chances compared to Napoli. They just couldn't convert on their chances, I think it's more like Juventus, like just not capitalizing. But hey, I'll take those any day. I mean, not to mention the Chiesa goal also was it was a bit like the Mertens goal. Both teams are just put in awkward positions, and they just like the Mertens goal, Chiesa goal. Both teams are just able to capitalize on a fumble, on a miscommunication or mix-up. But besides that, they took those type of chances, but like actual clear chances, just nothing happens. But yeah, I've said it before, like this, like especially the month of January, pre-COVID restrictions and whatnot, would be big for Napoli, a big test for Napoli because you're losing Anguissa, Osimhen, and Koulibaly. Now technically you are missing them, but for different reasons in terms of Osimhen. Nonetheless, I feel like as if like the new core of Napoli, especially as a big team against Juve, you get the draw, take it, go with it, move on to the next game.
And looking at other games around the league, like I said, so there was only 6 games. I think the most exciting game was Lazio Empoli 3-3. Milinkovic-Savic 2 goals, 1 assist in that one. Cagliari picks up their second win of the season against Sampdoria, and that's their second win of the season against Sampdoria. You could slice this 2 ways. Second win of the season, comma against Sampdoria. Second win of the season against Sampdoria, because they beat them in October and they beat them today. Pretty embarrassing on Sampdoria's part to be the only.
They need to
team
play
that Cagliari beats.
Sampdoria every week. They'll stay in Serie A next year.
They'd win the Scudetto.
Yeah, never mind.
And Verona 2-1 over Spezia. A couple of red cards actually. Red card for Spezia, red card for Samp. That was on Candreva. 2 red cards for Roma. So 6 games, 4 red cards. Do you guys want to, if we're going to talk about these other games, because we have Caprari had 2 goals. If you guys want to talk about these other games with the MVPs, we could do that before we talk about transfer market, and we have a couple of questions regarding the transfer market and all that. Do you guys want to get the MVPs out of the way now, or what?
Yeah, we'll do that.
And
sure, why not?
Okay. Well,
I think before we start though, like combined red card is the shenanigans we spoke about at the beginning of the episode. Yeah. That's number one. Just it's a communal Calcio Guys red card of the week, of the year, however you want to slice it. It's there to stay. Just we spoke about it before. We're putting it out there again. This red card from all 3 of us. But if you guys have anything else, then we can definitely add as well.
It's gonna go to the
I would like to
pocket
add,
and get out the red. It's a red card.
Sorry, Jenny, go.
Sorry, I didn't see that. For me, I would like to add the fact that like the Napoli Juve game with the monkey chats from some of the Napoli tifosi, which actually I don't want to call them Napoli tifosi because my eyes are not fans. But like those monkey chants towards Keane and McKennie, from what I read on Twitter, and that's bad. Even the video clip that I saw was really scary. And also, it happens every freaking game. The fans, every time Napoli plays, it's like today there was a sign Napoli's not part of Italy or something like that, and it's like, come on, guys, I get it's like I know people are like, yeah, but that's not bad. It's a common joke to say. I understand that, but it starts there, and it's because of things like this that it evolves to people thinking it's okay to do monkey chants. It's okay to do stuff like that. It starts from that type of stuff. It stems from there, and you gotta nip it in the bud. And I feel like as if that also deserves to be mentioned for a red card as well. Just the ignorance that, mind you, I'm not surprised. It's like what, the 500th time we talk about this,
and we're gonna continue talking about it until till we see cows fly. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry to start swearing, but just to even add on quickly onto that, let's not start labeling every fan like that. Those types of fans, like all Napoli fans are that, or all Juve fans are racist, or all Milan fans are racist. Guys, these are the bad weeds, within a great crop of fans. Like Johnny said, he doesn't even consider those fans. I don't know how we can. You go to a match, you start saying racist things, you start screaming, monkey chants to black players. Guys, it's 2022 now, where this is crazy. So I totally agree, and I think Nick does as well. Again, maybe this is another red card across the board from us as well. We're going to continue talking about it because we have no choice, because it's always in the fucking news. And it's crazy. And then, like I said, I saw it over Twitter, people saying, "Oh, all Napoli fans are racist, this and that." Guys, we can't. I think it was the all Juve cast. I don't know if it was Al or whoever was in charge, but let's not paint a brush over, the whole fan base when there's select few of fans doing these types of actions. So I totally agree. I think every fan base has those bad apples, has those bad weeds, in their good crop of fans. So let's not point the finger. The country as a whole is miles behind in things like this, the league as well. So let's not point fingers and try, speriamo, but try to come together on discussing acts like this.
This is going to be a red card, and is that going to change the course of the game?
Yeah, I mean, you guys said it perfectly. I think at this point, sadly, I'm not surprised anytime it happens. Unfortunately, these are grown men that go to a game and they don't even know how to banter. There's telling one guy like your team sucks, and then there's being racist. So it's so unnecessary. Yeah. Grown men, I guess that's the state of Italy. I don't know. Again, not trying to, like Keitano just said, not trying to brush the whole country as one, but it seems like it happens a lot more in Italy than like maybe if you go to a game here. Because I think it's just with soccer culture too, is just you're meant to say like the worst thing possible, and that's not how it should be, Like, you go to a Habs Bruins game here, it's like, Bruins suck. Oh, no! The guy said Bruins suck! Like, that's the worst thing you could say. And then Italy something else. And it's, like, almost like a, I don't know what the word is. I'm not a psychologist, but when, like, people are in groups and one guy does something and then everyone else follows?
Mob mentality.
Yeah, mob mentality, yeah. Like one guy says it and then everyone else says it. That's how it is at these games. It's sad.
Yeah.
But red card. For my card, I'm gonna stick on the field. I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna give it to Alexandro for his performance. I was thinking between Alexandro and the Roma defense, but I'm gonna give it just straight away to Alexandro, because it's my territory. But he was awful. Like, I used to really like him, honestly. He was like so good. There was debates like 3 years ago, like is he the best left back in the Serie A? And a lot of people would have agreed. And now he's awful. He can't pass, he can't cross, he can't run, he can't defend. Juan Cuadrado used to be a right winger who got transformed into a right back 3 years ago, and he's a better defender than Alexandro at this point. And, if Luca Pellegrini started this game, I think maybe Juve wins, because he's a player who I've really enjoyed watching this season. He's come in. Maybe it's because he's being compared to Alexandro. Like, obviously he's no Theo, but he looks good. I like what he's done. Yeah. He defends. He's a natural left back, obviously, so he defends well. And he gets up in the play, and maybe his crossing needs to be a bit better, but he at least creates attacking chances. Like, he has speed. He's not at Spinazzola level yet, but no, I like what he's brought. So, Alexandro, red card. I'm gonna be a bit nicer. Yellow card for me.
And he now sees a flash of yellow before his eyes.
Do you guys have any other cards you want to bring up?
Not really. Just a quick add-on to what you're mentioning about Pellegrini. If this guy gets minutes and consistent minutes at Juve and puts in good performances, Mancini for the Azzurri, I think, can definitely look his way. Because, Emerson is decent. Like, I'm not going to shit on him because he does his job. But to have another rotation in there, especially on the left back, behind Spina, or once even before Spina comes back, maybe Pellegrini is another answer there. So, again, he works hard. He just needs to get the minutes, I think, personally. I don't see him playing consistently enough, so it's not enough to say, okay, automatic Azzurri call-up, but if he, if he's able to do so, and if Allegri gives him time, and maybe finally Juve turns the page from Alexandro and starts the kid, maybe we're in good hands even for the national team. So it's another thing to look out for in the future, I think.
Wasn't Pellegrini the player that Juve exchanged for Spinazzola?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
It was Spinazzola for Pellegrini plus cash, which I love Spinazzola, but it's not looking so bad because he's not the healthiest player. He does get hurt, so
he's injury prone.
No, he's just a 2-time MVP in Euro games. Just saying.
No, he was the best player in the tournament.
He was. I love him. He's amazing when he's healthy. But
wait, was he twice?
I think just once.
Player of the game? Was he twice?
Against Austria? Or was that Chiesa? It's okay.
Chiesa was twice for sure. I think Spinazzola was the opening two. If I'm not mistaken.
Maybe. Nope.
Either way.
Yeah. MVPs. You guys MVPs?
Mike Maignan. Easily. Mike Maignan. Screw you, AJ. I'm not giving it to you. I'll take it. He didn't make much saves, but he still needed to make those big saves. And from what I saw, weren't easy saves to make. So, gave his team a chance to win, and they took it, and they won. Kept Milan in there to get that result. He deserves full kudos for the result today. So he gets my MVP of the week.
Sorry, Adri.
Yeah, no. I was just looking at the scores and stuff. Nick mentioned it quickly before, but I'll probably give it to Caprari for Verona. It really was, I guess, the Caprari show at Spezia there. Scoring the 2 goals. He's another player that, again, on these mid-table teams or teams trying to fight, to get to the left side of the table, or just stay top 10 in the league, or maybe make a push. He's a player that can deliver. He scored 2 today, against Spezia. But again, I think he's a player for Verona, especially today. That was a game where there was obviously some COVID cases there too. He had to step up. Simeone got the assist, I think, on one of his goals. He wasn't a goal scorer today. It was Caprari. So, I mean, I don't know if Nick is going to give it to SMS later, but definitely a shout for him too. A fantastic game. But my MVP is going to have to go to Caprari. He like I said, the 2 goals. He's a technical player. He's able to score, get the assist. So for me, definitely Caprari amongst other names as well. I don't know. Again, I don't know where Nick is going, but another one I just wanted to say was Berardi getting Sassuolo back into that game to get at least 1 point in the game against Genoa. Another goal for him under his name. He's at, I think, 9 goals and 6 assists on the season. He's having himself a bit of a year. If he continues on pace like this, I think he'll have some good numbers to finish off the season. But Berardi, love him or hate him with the national team or what have you, he produces for Sassuolo. There's no knocking him there. The big thing is if he can make the jump to a bigger club, quote unquote. But again, he's another name that I wanted to add in there for his performance today.
Yeah, Berardi, 18 games, 9 goals, 7 assists. That's crazy. I think after looking at
9 and 6, I think it was, if I read it correctly.
Transfer Market says 9 and 7, but that website.
Oh, sorry, the score. I was looking at the score. My bad.
Sometimes on these websites, the assists aren't the most consistent. I find like everyone knows what a goal is, but then an assist, it's not like hockey.
Were they giving them the hockey assist? You got the second one there, they're just squeaking those ones in. I don't know, but exactly. Anyways, if it's 6 or 7, he's having himself a bit of a year, so it's good to see for him.
Yeah, exactly. For me, I'm gonna go with Milinkovic-Savic. Like I said before, 2 goals, 1 assist. Game Lazio probably should have won against Empoli, but we know that what Empoli's been doing this season. They've been picking up good results. They're in the top 10, and that was a crazy game, 3-3. One of those early morning games. One of those good for the league games, right? And there
you go.
And he really stood out. I find he's been one of the better players for Lazio this season. Obviously he's been doing that consistently for a couple of years now, so it's no surprise he has 2 goals and an assist. By the way, he actually has 7 goals, 7 assists according to Transfer Market, which is 6th in the league for total points, so 14 points. And Berardi is 4th in the league with 16 points, behind Simeone, Immobile, and Vlahovic, which is crazy. But it's January, so we got the Transfer Market. We got a couple of questions regarding Transfer Market. From our listener, sorry if I mispronounced your name, Dieter. Oh yeah, I butchered this. Johnny, you know to say it.
Shout out Dieter.
Yeah,
Dieter. That's how I say it, Dieter. If you're listening to this, God bless you. Thank you for all the support.
Yeah, Dieter. Honestly,
maybe send us an audio clip. How do you say your name so we don't screw it up? But
so next time we give you a shout out, we don't mess it up.
Yeah,
we love you.
Will Vlahovic leave Serie A in the transfer window? What's your opinion on the return of Piątek? So that's kind of related, right? Because Piątek's going to Fiorentina.
Mm-hmm.
First, he was supposed to go back to Genoa, but and
apparently not related to anything with Vlahovic to getting Piątek.
No,
that's what the release is about.
Yeah, I believe that. I'll just say my opinion first quickly. I don't see Vlahovic leaving this window. I think it's been pretty clear he's going to leave in June. Fiorentina want to sell him in June before his contract expires. Piątek coming back. Guys, don't expect his Genoa performance. We saw when he was in Milan, he wasn't that good. He went to Germany. He's been better there. But especially if he's not a starter with Fiorentina, a 6-month loan, I don't see him. Definitely not his Genoa numbers. Maybe, if he comes in as a sub every so often and he scores, maybe. But people are hyping this one up. I say calm down a bit on it. What do you guys think?
I think it's a good addition, especially like Johnny said, and I saw, I think if it was Di Marzio or Fabrizio Romano saying that this is not a replacement for Vlahovic because Vlahovic is staying for at least this season. I think it's a good addition. It shows Fiorentina's fight and push to try to get higher up the table, to add some depth in their attacking options. I think is huge. I think Fiorentina fans, they've seen that they're missing a bit of maybe like a true striker behind Vlahovic, because Vlahovic, we said it in our last episode. Everybody knows he's the man. But just like Nick said, if it's a guy off the bench like Piątek, even if he doesn't deliver his Genoa days or first 6 months at Milan type numbers, I think it's still a good contribution to Italiano's side. Again, it shows the fight from Fiorentina and the push, the drive that they have to try to make some noise in top of the table, or to push towards maybe Europa League spot. So I think the depth side of it is also huge. Is like the biggest thing. But I don't think Piontek will be bad. I don't think he'll be fantastic either. I think he'll just be right. I think he'll come on, he'll do his part, he'll score some goals. We'll see the Pistolero celebration again, and I think Fiorentina fans hopefully can be happy with what he provides, just as a compliment to Vlahovic. To give Vlahovic a break, if they go 2 strikers up top, it remains to be seen. But again, I think just the flexibility, having another striker in there, will be huge for Italiano's change of pace squad.
I think it's just a good move overall for them. I mean, it's a win-win scenario. If you get him and he's just either a good sub or like a depth player, it's perfect. If you get him to complement Vlahovic, or in any way, if you have any way to complement him or use them together, by all means, go ahead. And hey, if you happen to somehow get Genoa Piontek, you're flying.
It's a bonus.
No. It's a bonus if it happens. I'm not saying it will. If it so happens, then when the blow happens, with Vlahovic leaving, it's going to be much less of a pain if you're getting that type of Piontek back instead of just a regular Milan Piontek or whatnot. But yeah.
And I think it's option. It's a loan with option to buy at around like 12-15 million, if I'm not mistaken, from what I think I saw from the report. So again, if he pops off and he's here to stay, they have that buy option as well. So quickly to the question that Dieter also asked about Vlahovic. Yeah, I agree with Nick. I think Johnny probably agrees with Nick. We all agree here that he's not leaving.
Vlahovic.
No, I don't. No, don't go to Arsenal, please. No, don't go to Juve either.
No, not even Juve. I'm telling you, it's Arsenal. If it happens to Arsenal, you'll see.
But
I just feel it.
I don't know, but I know he's not leaving in January. I think I don't know if they've said it completely publicly, but I think all the rumors and the stir up between him leaving in January, I don't think that's going to happen. Does he even leave in the summer? For me, that remains to be seen. I think there's still an if there. I don't want to say it's 100%. I know a lot of people are saying it's 100% he's gone. We'll see. I think we'll definitely see. Are they going to continue to make him the face of the franchise? I think there's a big possibility, but again, there's also a big possibility he leaves. So for now, he stays. We'll see what happens in the future, in my opinion.
Got a question from Pizza Calcio. January transfer moves you would like each of your teams to make. I feel like we get this question every year. There's always a million possibilities. For me, I think Juve needs to replace Morata if possible. There's been this whole rumor of him going to Barca and then Icardi coming over. I don't know if I'd want. I don't know how I feel about Icardi. I honestly, I've been trying not to pay too much attention to these rumors because every day it's going to be something new. And I think after so many years of watching, following and following all these rumors, you learn what to believe, what not to believe. So we'll see. Morata, I think it's a confidence thing with him. Last year, I loved him. Honestly, I'm wearing his jersey right now from last season, and but this year has been awful. Ken's a good backup, but you really need your true number 9. Maybe Icardi could do that. We'll see. I mean, at this point, just bring back Higuain. Honestly, no, I don't know. Maybe if you suffer another 6 months with Morata, you don't extend his loan. So we'll see. Obviously, typical Juve, maybe another midfielder, but I don't see that happening. Apparently Ramsey's on his way out, but if he leaves, maybe you replace him with maybe just a depth midfielder. They could get like a 6-month loan or something. So we'll see. Adri.
Yeah, no, for Milan, I think there's a lot of evident, holes to fill. Again, this team, the squad isn't perfect, far from that. But Yeah, I think the biggest thing that fans have been really harping on for the longest of times is a right winger. We haven't had a true one there in some time. People want to still say yes and give Salsicha Maker some time, some more time. We got Messias that can play there as well. Even if it's really push comes to shove, if you throw a guy like Rebic or you throw a guy like Brahim Diaz there too, it might work. But again, to try to solidify a right winger, I think is a need. This was obviously pre Simon Kjær injury. Now with him injured and gone, you read the reports every day is something new, but to really fill or to get another center back is the biggest thing, to really replace Simon Kjær, because like we saw today, if the COVID bug starts or if an injury happens and we lose a guy like Tomori, who has been fantastic this season and one of our standout players, or even Romagnoli, we're stuck. We're stuck with a guy like Gabbia. We're stuck with a guy like maybe Kalulu again playing center back, or what have you. So definitely a center back. Every day we see the news, we see a different name. This Botman guy from Lille looks good from what I hear. Just from his characteristics as a player, from what I've been seeing, he looks like a great player. It's if they can pull the trigger on a good price, or if they can make it an option, a loan with an option to buy, something like that, the Maldini special. I think that would be a great pickup for Milan. There were rumors of Bremer and other guys like that. Milenkovic from Fiorentina a while back too. But these are all great names, but can they really pull the trigger is the big thing. Definitely another midfielder, I think. I don't know, like Bakayoko coming off the bench usually scares me, especially now during AFCON, and we don't have a guy like Pobega that's on loan at Torino. So it leaves you with Swiss Army knife Krunic that plays wherever you ask him and does his job there. So again, maybe another midfielder, and other fans want to say a striker too. Ibra's there, yes. Giroud is there, yes. But if those guys, are out of form, if again the injury bug or COVID related, and a guy like Rebic or maybe even Leao, because you can throw them up there too, they're preferred on the left side. We need another guy that can come off the bench. Pellegrini clearly hasn't been the answer. Again, maybe another attacker I think would be huge. But yeah, besides that, I don't know. You can go on and you need a depth everywhere, like left back too. But I think those are our main concerns. The biggest one now after the Kjær injury has to be center back, and I think it's really still early in the mercato, but they really seem to be pushing hard to bring a center back in ASAP, and I think that's the smart move. Johnny?
And Jenny, before you talk about maybe, after you talk about maybe potential targets for Roma and Napoli, I want to ask Insigne to Toronto. Your thoughts about that?
That's a big one.
Save that for the end.
That's a really big one.
We'll finish the episode with that. So,
yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You have a lot to say.
Yeah. Well, but don't worry, nothing horrible, or it's not an angry rant at all. But in terms of targets for Napoli, I'll start with Napoli first since you brought them up. They're getting Tuanzebe from Man United as a straight loan. It's not like anything fantastic. It's just to help the center back slot, probably give Koulibaly some assistance, while De Laurentiis looks towards the summer to find a good Manolas replacement, unless Romani actually proves to be that consistent as a center back. So we'll see from there. I always want them to get better help on the wing backs, whether it's left back or right back. It's on the full back slot. Sorry, I used the wrong term. I'd rather them get some help there, because that's where they need a bit more of an assistance. Because now with Insigne on his way out, you got Lozano that can play on the left. You got Politano that can play on the right now, and you got Osimhen down the middle. Apparently Mertens might be leaving, so if that's the case, then you lose two players in the forward slot. If you want to get another striker or maybe another 9, go ahead. But we all see him in Petagna. So in all seriousness, I don't really see Napoli going after much. this January window. I see this window as more of like, okay, let's set up for the summer window, and then from there they'll have a much better idea of what they're going to go with. In terms of Roma, they're not going to be doing anything, and I don't want them to do anything because Spinazzola coming back is their transfer of the winter. That's going to be the big thing for them, you know. Especially they need help on the back end. That back end is a very I don't want to say fully inexperienced, but a very suspect back line that does have players that need more experience, but also there are players there that that should be good to go, and they're starting to get into form. I'm not saying they're bad at all, you know, I'm not hating on them, but you can see that there's still some mental mistakes being made. If I were Roma, probably if you can find a cheap defensive mid, by all means, that's something that they've been lacking for so long, you know. Even if you actually have the finances to spend money on a good defensive mid, then go for it. But I feel like as if the Friedkins are like, okay, you know, we're still going to be in the hunt of getting players. I think they made their big deals this summer. They're going to wait probably for the summer again to make another one. But, you know, like there was talks about, oh my God, I'm forgetting his last name. It starts with a Z. Oh my God. Point is, I'm not going to take the waste of time now of the pod to look for it, but there was a defensive mid that Roma had on their sights. I haven't heard any updates on that just yet. Zakaria, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, you know, like yeah, it would have been like he's perfect. I haven't seen much news about it on that front, but he would be the perfect target that I hope Roma gets to, you know, get a good defensive mid option.
The only news I've heard of Roma, just to add on quickly to Johnny's points there, Maitland-Niles from Arsenal and Sergio Oliveira from Porto, the midfielder. The one that
I think Maitland-Niles was confirmed actually.
Yeah, it's in the stages again. I think both your teams they're going for that dry loan there, 6 months or whatever it is there to try to add some depth. But the Oliveira's transfer, if that goes through, if that has any significance or reality to it, I think it's a pretty interesting pickup if that ends up happening and panning out.
I have to agree.
He helped knock out Juve in the Champions League in 2020. Yeah. I'm surprised Juve's not getting him, but I guess the trend continues where the player comes to the Serie A. But the last thing we're going to talk about, I know we have a couple other questions from Inter Milan, Edie and Joseph, but we'll focus on the transfers. Insigne to Toronto. It's not official posted by the club yet, but it's pretty much. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano. Here we go. There's there's video of him leaving the hotel and stuff. So he's pretty much signed the contract. You know, at this point, it's just awaiting the official announcement from TFC. But huge, massive contract, like 11-13 million plus bonuses and
11.5 million euros plus 4.5 bonus.
Yeah,
over 5.5 years.
Plus, apparently, they're gonna
free housing,
house car, the English
language.
tutors.
Imagine Insigne speaking English.
I can't wait to see that.
Before you guys share your opinion, I want to share mine. I see there's a lot of hate on Twitter. I feel like it's a pretty divisive issue. Like a lot of Napoli fans, saying he should stay with Napoli or at least he should stay in Europe. But guys, he's 30. He's 31. He's going to be 31, I believe.
In June, he'll be 31.
He's going to be 31, and he's getting a 5-year deal. This money. This is his last big contract. After he retires, he's still going to be making money, whether it's through sponsorships, maybe coaches. But this is his last big contract as an athlete. This is what he's worked his whole life towards. And whether you like it or not, sports are about money. It's about athletes working a job that pays them money. It's a business. So if you're going to be offered such a huge a long contract with a lot of money, and you're going to be able to provide for your family until you're 70, 80, 9 years old, you take it. And as much as we from Montreal like to rip on Toronto, moving to Toronto is not a bad thing. Canada's a great country. We have, it's a good education for the kids. He comes here, they get to experience a different culture. They get to learn a new language. Sure, they're not coming to the best city in Canada. But I know I'm going to get a lot of heat from that, like my tweet did. But it's something different. And you know what? Kudos to him. As much as even as like Montreal Impact fans too, like we'll go to the Saputo Stadium when he comes. We'll cheer him before the game, then probably boo him during the game, and it'll be cool to see. But he's probably going to tear it up in the MLS. He will. I'm already going to put money on him to win MVP. Maybe not his first season, but maybe the season after. So you know what? Kudos to him for getting this money. It's cool to see a player like him who just won the Euros, I guess, come to Canada, that we're going to be able to watch him in person. Obviously for Napoli fans, it sucks. Obviously for Impact fans, it sucks because apparently, TFC is going on this Italian splurge. They want Criscito, they want Giovinco back, they want Belotti. But, maybe we'll have to become TFC fans with the way the Montreal Impact are going. But I want to know your guys' opinion on this.
This is I'm gonna let Johnny save it save the best, I guess, for last there. But again, for me, this is huge. This is huge news. At first I didn't want to believe it. At first I didn't think it was too concrete. And as the days go by and as the news starts to report itself more and more, you see the possibility really, really happening. Again, we haven't seen the official from the teams, and in the great words of Presidente Marcello, Milan Montreal, until he sees the official statements from the teams, it's all chiacchiere del bar, right? It's all the bar talk, all that chiacchiere for whatever reason, right? But again, we got the Fabrizio Romano, here we go. The Di Marzio saying it too, so it's pretty much going to happen. It seems so. Again, at first I was disappointed because this is a player that I do enjoy. I'm a big fan of Insigne. I've said it on the pod before. I'm just a huge fan of his. So to see him leave the league is obviously a big downer. To see him leave his boyhood club, he's Nabodan to the core, right? And to see him leave the Napoli is huge. I didn't think we would see that anytime soon. I thought he would really ride out, most of his career or the remaining of his career there. I think that's the story or the love story a lot of fans wanted to see. But again, they couldn't get it done. I thought, whatever he was even asking for wasn't even ludicrous, right? The numbers that he was even asking for, De Laurentiis being De Laurentiis didn't give it to him, didn't want to give it to him. However you want to cut it, it didn't happen. But again, like Nick mentioned, this is a payday of a lifetime, right? He'll never see this again. If he turned this down, it's not like, next year he's going to get this contract somewhere else. This was never going to happen to him again. And it's no knock to him as a player. He's a fantastic player, one of my favorites, but he would never see that again. And for all the fans that want to say, F Insigne, F De Laurentiis, F Napoli, F this, F that, every single one of those people, including ourselves here, as much as it hurts to see him leave the league, see him leave Napoli, would take that deal any day of the week, twice on Sundays, however you want to cut it. We're taking that deal. We're moving to Toronto to make that type of money. It's unfortunate. The times have changed. As we've said time and time again, the Bandiera era of stars, the Maldinis, the Baresis, the Tottis, the Del Pieros, Zanetti, Maradona, these things, this is not the game that we're in right now. It is a business, and we have to unfortunately accept those things. And things like this, to see Insigne move after winning the Euros from Serie A to, many people want to say Farmers League and MLS, whatever, it's pretty crazy. But again, he was never going to get that money ever in his career again. That's just the facts. See him make the move at this ripe age of 30, going on to 31, was the big thing. I think that was a bit, suspect maybe. when Giovinco went, I think he was a bit older, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he was actually a little bit younger.
No, he was
Sorry.
28. Well,
Sorry, he was younger.
Giovinco,
You're right.
yeah.
You're right. He was younger.
Less
He
talent.
was 28. Less talent. That was the point I wanted to make. And I know Daniel Lucci is going to get upset at me. I'm sorry, Lucci.
Let him get
love
upset.
you.
He's wrong. It's
I love you
by miles.
But guys, if we're comparing Insigne and Sebastian Giovinco, it's night and day for me. That's my personal opinion, guys. You take it however you want, but Insigne making that type of money in a city like Toronto, again, he's coming to a great country in Canada. Again, we love to hate our brothers and sisters in Toronto about how Montreal's better than Toronto. Let's not spark up who's more Italian, because that's going to go on for years. But just to say he's going to be moving to a beautiful country, a beautiful city in Toronto, in front of some hardcore fans that they have there when they come here to Montreal or other Canadian cities, in the States or what have you. We know the stadiums are going to be packed when Insigne comes. He just brings that effect to a league that is starting to make moves into the right direction. And again, I'm by no means an MLS fan. I don't follow enough. Our team here in Montreal sucks, and it's all down the drain after all the changes they've made. But to see Insigne come, I think that's going to be huge. We're definitely going to be hopefully going to games that Insigne is part of in the MLS. And, there was a lot of factors, I think, that played into it. Besides him personally as a player, I think he really took his family, thinking about the future, not only of himself as a player, but his family's future, his kids' future, generations to come future. It all makes sense if you really break it down. If you take the emotions out of it and, why is he leaving Serie A? Why is he leaving Napoli? He's Nabuadan, al cuore. He shouldn't be leaving. Guys, you break it down, you break down the business sense, and unfortunately, I guess, it makes some sort of sense for him to make this move. But I don't want to see the hate, because I think some of the hate is unjust. If you're going to throw maybe some hate, maybe at De Laurentiis, but again, I think that offer still was going to be there from Toronto. So it was really on Insigne to make the move, and he did it. And we'll probably see in the next couple of days, maybe by Monday, if it's official there. But I don't know. It's just cool to see that Euro champion Insigne is almost in our backyard. And I know our friends in Toronto are gonna be stoked about that. Again, huge Italian population here in Montreal and the East Coast in general. So he'll definitely be loved in the MLS, and especially in Toronto. Johnny, the floor is yours, my friend.
I just want to say this is one step closer of one of my life goals of meeting Lorenzo Insigne. So
there we go.
We'll go.
Calcio Guys 2022. We're going to meet Insigne, get this jersey signed. It's happening, guys.
But I just want to start off by saying that it happened with other clubs where a lot of star players left because at the end of the day in sports, there's no player bigger than the club. No matter which club you are, there's no player bigger than the club. And I'm going to start talking from the De Laurentiis side. He went into the season knowing that he needed to cut back down on the books. He needed to offload salary. And you see it with players like Manolas being sold, Insigne on his way out, and Mertens rumored to leave as well. And if De Laurentiis is doing this, there has to be a reason why. He would not sabotage or break up a core of players that he built for an unjustified reason. He's as much as of an idiot that he looks like and he acts like, mentally he's not. He just doesn't care about his image in the eye of the public. But he's not stupid. If he was stupid, he wouldn't have built Napoli into a competitive club that it is today. I'm not saying it's a winning club. It's a competitive club. So there is intelligence there. So if he's doing something like this and he's telling Insigne, the most I can give you is X amount of dollars, there's a reason behind it. Now, a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but, it's Lorenzo. You have to. He's going to be a modern bandiera, and like, when was the last time you've seen a true bandiera in Serie A? And, I don't want to say those days are completely gone, because, like, for example, like not just in Serie A, but like if Barcelona didn't screw up their books, I think Messi would have played his entire career in Barcelona, if it wasn't for the mess up on their accounting side of things. But what I'm trying to say is that, it's unfortunate because I really hoped for him to be that guy. But sometimes, if it's written in the stars that it's not possible. And if it's out of your control, just accept it. From what I saw mostly on Napoli Twitter, from the people I've interacted with, they understood when they saw the amounts that were involved in the deals and all the benefits. Yeah. You cannot refuse a deal like that at this point in time in your life. You're not going to get this money anywhere. Not just forget Napoli, anywhere in Serie A. The only way you would probably get this money is in probably the Prem. But Insigne at least had the fortitude to not go to another team in Europe. A lot of people need to understand that, now he's not going to be playing in another team in Europe where he could screw over Napoli some point down the road. He's going to be in a different continent, in a different league. No way interfering with any progress Napoli is going to have to make. And a lot of people kind of sleep on that idea. It's like how bad could it be how bad would it be if, let's say, he went to, I'm just going to throw a team out there, Man United, and Napoli somehow miraculously played Man United in a Champions League final, and Man United won when Insigne on that roster. I'm just talking, just shooting.
But it's hypothetical,
Johnny,
right?
that wouldn't even happen. That wouldn't
in
even
real life.
happen
I know.
on the
FIFA,
PlayStation.
I know.
FIFA 22. FIFA 22. Johnny's going to do the matchmaking there.
Well, hold on, wait. My FIFA 22 is right here. I got it in for my Boxing Day shopping.
There you go.
I
bought it on
still.
the.
I have yet to play it because I haven't had a chance to play it yet. But in all seriousness, it's just like that. At least he's going to a club that's not going to interfere with Napoli. It sets him up for life. It sets up his. It's there's a famous. I use it on the All Juve Cast podcast today, and I'm going to use it here. will.i.am says a lyric in the song "The Hardest Ever." He's like, "I'm just making money for my grandkids' nieces." And that's basically what Insigne is doing with this type of deal. He's setting up for not only his grandkids' nieces. He's just making so much and is setting such a fantastic life for his family. Put yourselves in his shoes. You played Nick said it perfectly. You played your entire life to get into a competitive league. You worked your way into the competitive league. You become a star player for a team. You've tried year in and year out to try to win the Scudetto and try to help be that player for Napoli to win the Scudetto. And you just came at a time where Juventus is going through a dynasty era, and you're always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And the only thing that you can really win for your club is a Coppa Italia or being part of a Supercoppa team back in 2014. That's the best you can do. You can try, you can bash your head against the wall, but to call a spade, you're not going to compete that much at that level. Your team has limitations, and he saw the writing on the wall, and I'm pretty sure the team themselves even knew. It's guys, maybe we need to push for the Scudetto this year because this is probably our only opportunity to do so, because coming up in the next year, things are going to have to be cut. And I think that's why more or less you see a bit more of a motivation from the team than previous seasons. But I'm getting off topic here. What I'm trying to say is that he worked his way hard, he worked his way up to get here. And he's cashing in on his value. He's a Euro Cup champion. He's cashing in on, being in the peak of his career. And I don't blame him for doing that. I would totally understand. If I was in his shoes, and I get a chance to give my family a beautiful opportunity. The fact that I'm giving my immediate family, my personal family, a beautiful opportunity to live. It's not as if it's some kind of shithole city. Toronto is a great city. It's a beautiful city. It has it's very modern. It has its charm.
Especially if you like traffic. Great city. Yeah. Traffic.
Yeah, but
in Napoli, man, the driving there is already a casino, so he's used to that.
But living in a city like Toronto, the Italian population here in Canada will love him with open arms. He's not the only Italian to come to North America, and he won't be the last Italian to come play in North America. And he's no matter where he's gonna go, he's gonna feel the love from the fans. And stadiums will be, I want to say, solely for Insigne, but there's going to be such a huge draw whenever TFC visits a certain city on the East Coast,
of course,
or maybe one or two cities in the West Coast, because you have to give a shout out to Vancouver and, but that small population of Italians that live in California. But the East Coast, the entirety of the East Coast, where a majority of the teams are, you're gonna have a huge draw of fans coming in just to see Insigne, potentially having a chance to, maybe probably try to see him, try to maybe interact with him, it's such a big move and such a smart move for TFC. And the only thing that really bugs me and irritates me and gets me angry about this TFC Insigne move is the fact that Joey Saputo did not pull something off like this. He has the capacity to do so. He has the opportunity to do so. MLS, a lot of people don't realize, is a very, very, very rich league. The owners are not like Serie A owners. They have more money than some Serie A owners, a couple of them combined. And this is such a big thing for TFC. I'm just jealous. Like I wish CF Montreal could do something like this, especially when it's like you're frustrated because like it's being run by monkeys. But that's a whole other debate. But that's my thoughts on it. Props to Insigne. Congratulations. Complimenti. I wish him all the best. I pray that he finds a lot of success. There's no hatred from my end. Because I understand where he's coming from with this, and I hope he finds all the success that he wants in his life.
I think a lot of people should be behind him too, huh? Like this bashing, fucking Insigne, this, that, the other thing. Like, I don't know, man. He gave it his all for your home, for his hometown, for you guys' hometown, for like Napolitani's hometowns. It's he's one of you, like he's one of us. He's uno de noi, right? That's the saying. But I don't know the hate that if there's any hate on him, I don't know. For us, I think we wish him all the best. Like that's how I see it. That's how I'm going to wish him the best. Again, it sucks that he's leaving, but we have to face the reality, face the facts, and it's happening. So we have to wish him nothing but the best. And I don't know if Nick was going to go on to another point, but Nick, I don't know. Were you going to stick on the Insigne?
No. I was just going to say July 16th. It's the only time TFC comes to Montreal, at least part of the MLS, because they'll most likely, usually the Canadian Championship, there's usually another game there. But July 16th, clear your calendars, guys. We'll go to the Saputo Stadium.
We got to do the road trip. We got a road trip to Toronto, maybe. Finally, we've been saying it so many times. We have to do that. But just quickly on the Insigne stuff, because I don't know if we're going to touch upon it again. The national team. Now, that was a whole other can of worms that I saw. That's it. His national team career is over. It's done. I don't know, guys. First off, we have to get into the World Cup. We all know that. And for me, he's still part of the squad for at least that. And if they make the World Cup, and that's again still a big if, I still see him in the squad. That's how I see it. I don't know. For me, he's still part. Like, I know he's not in Europe.
Mancini loves him. He's gonna definitely call him. He would not call him because he's not. He's playing in a different league.
I think
El Shaarawy has been called up by Mancini. He was playing in China.
But again, it's the level of player too, right? Like Insigne for me is a better player. Like I love El Shaarawy. Like
but that's what I'm saying. Like if El Shaarawy got a call up while playing in China, I don't expect him to not
I agree. The only thing is, it's like Mancini. He. Sometimes he forgets to put his glasses on, so that's number one, and game sheets and whatnot, player selection. But for him having the open awareness of and really looking across leagues and looking across players that he has and other, like a guy like Vincenzo Griffo, Germany. This guy, you never hear about him. Oh, he makes a call for the national team. Oh, he put in some good performances. Maybe he's a good player. I don't know. But Insigne, after coming off winning the Euro, wearing the number 10, being an integral part of that squad that won this summer, and that Mancini knows him and I think they have mutual respect for each other. If it was any other manager, I don't think maybe you can argue a bit harder that he wouldn't be part of the plans. But for me, especially with the World Cup around the corner, I think he's there. In the future after that, we'll see. We'll call it as we see it then. But for the immediate future, I think. I don't want to say it's all over for him with the La Nazionale for me.
I think for now he'll still get a call up because there's not many guys left, like a left wing. But I think if he starts struggling, or if he's not like a superstar in the MLS, he's not going to get that call up. Because I feel with the national team over the years, when guys leave Italy, unless it's like Verratti or Donnarumma, they won't get back. They don't go back. El Shaarawy, he had to come back to Italy to get those call ups again. Jovinko, Jovinko, he was playing with the national team. He was part of that 2012 team in the Euros, and he was part of the team in 2013 for the Confederations Cup. He goes to MLS, and he isn't called up again. He's called up again, but not as much as if he would have stayed in Italy. So I personally think Insigne he has to be ready to give up the national team a bit. Maybe not now, maybe in a year or two when he is a bit older. I find at around 33, 32, 33, there's a certain point in a player's career where playing on the national team becomes a lot, especially he's going to have to travel to Europe. Imagine those games in the fall where first week of September he has to travel to Europe. He comes back. It's a 9-hour flight, 6-hour time difference. It's not the easiest thing to do. He has to do that beginning of September, beginning of October, mid-November, and then he does it again in March, and then let's say there's a tournament in June. So it's a lot. Maybe at a certain point he'll decide he doesn't want to play anymore for the national team. But I think for now, as long as there's not many options at left wing, we'll keep it. They'll keep it. But I wouldn't be surprised if he, after the World Cup, let's say if Italy qualifies, he doesn't get called up anymore. But I think that'll do it. That'll do it for us. So hopefully Serie A this weekend. We're supposed to have 10 games again, so hopefully they're all played all on Sunday. Yeah. I like that. So enjoy it, guys. So Juve Roma. So good luck to Gianni. And I mean, Adri, where can people on social media?
Yeah, no, guys, thank you. Just as again, a huge thank you before we really wrap it up again. I know we always like to say our thanks at the end of the episode, but we do truly mean it from the three of us. It's always appreciated, all the support we've gotten, all the well wishes during the holidays that we saw, just throughout the year. After episodes, people giving their shout outs. Like it really doesn't go unnoticed, guys. It's really much appreciated. There's a lot of love that we have for all the people out there that continues to support. If it's a listen, if it's a like, if it's a follow, a recommendation, asking us to come on pods, whatever it is, it's really appreciated. A quick congratulations to, just before we got on, I saw the Red Card Report podcast, Joe and Rui, 100th episode. So a big shout out to those guys. We've been in contact a lot throughout us doing this podcast. So it's a big congratulations from the three of us for hitting that milestone. But again, guys, where you can follow us, it's on all social media platforms at the Calcio Guys, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube as well. And continue to listen, subscribe to our podcast. Everywhere you find your podcast, you can find the Calcio Guys. Again, on YouTube, subscribe, post notifications. We're trying to put up some more clips, and hopefully, again, 2022, we're hoping for bigger and better things for this podcast, and just the three of us in general. So again, continue the journey, continue following, and continue supporting. We can't thank you guys enough. So until next week, we'll talk a lot more Calcio.
Thanks for listening.
Ciao.
Bye.
The Calcio Guys is a weekly podcast by Adriano Donardo, Gianni Delacoli, and myself, Nicholas Di Giovanni. We want to bring Calcio back to its roots in our communities and share stories from around the world about why we're passionate about the beautiful game. You can listen to us anywhere where you listen to your podcasts, including Spreaker, Google Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, iHeart Radio, and Mixcloud. Give us your opinion on social media at The Calcio Guys on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The outro song is The Last Ones by Jazar.